Hello and welcome to another video with me, Sergey. Today we are having second part of our video about how to build 3D store inside of the Webflow. And today we are going to build UI for the store. So I'm going to lead the session, and today with us, as always, Federico Walla, who is responsible for all 3D in Finsweet. So it's good to have you, mate, here. Hi.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Sergey. Thank you again, Finsweet, for having me, and everyone for listening to these sessions. Yeah, this session is going to be, you're going to be doing the heavy lifting. Good luck with that.
Right now, Finsweet got static merge. So together with Federico, we're upgrading this to 3D merge, and people will have this experience of interacting with the product, which is, I think, is really cool. Like 3D is coming more into our life, and I think it's really cool. So I want to keep design as simple as possible, as basic as possible. So we have this approach at Finsweet where we have zero transitions. Everything is instant, and it makes you feel that it works perfect. It works fast. So that was the main reason for this. And I want to keep the same mentality here. And what we do have in Finsweet is amazing animals built by Federico. And we have them as the main design element at Finsweet website. So I want to do the same with the store, where t-shirt or the product, mug or cap, it doesn't matter. It is a center of the design, it is the center of your screen. So now we position in the middle and you can play with it. So sure, you can switch between t-shirt, mug and cap on top, right? And you have details. When you click, we open details. And for this element, actually, we would need to use a bit of custom code, because you have all the information about product inside of one item, but we want all this content to be placed inside of this window, like modal window or pop-up, and place it on top of everything. So we need to take the HTML and place it inside of another div, which is outside of all your wrappers. I hope it's clear, guys. Good. So then we have another option on hover. I would like to show different variations of the product, like different prints. So you can choose from one of those, and when you click, this will apply texture to the 3D element. Okay, and today with Federico, we discussed whether we can do double-sided t-shirts, right? So Federico, what was the outcome of our conversation, remember?
Yeah, I think probably we're going to take a little bit of a different route versus what we discussed last time, and just using the simple image from the CMS and just position it correctly. I think we're actually going to open up to potentially a lot of positions on all and everything. It's going to be mostly for the shirts at the start, but we're going to actually use basically, let's call it a separate image, still from the CMS, which we just going to use as a collage of all the different graphics and things. And we're just going to go back into Blender for a little bit and adjust the UVs to accommodate different positions, different sizes of graphics and so on. So we're going to have multiple textures. Well, we're going to have a single texture with multiple placements, which I think it's going to be needed ultimately, because in this case, you have more than one texture on your merge. So that's it.
In the end, the goal of this project to move all of this into the current merge store, Finsweet merge store. So it's going to be official merge store. And you would have both 2D experience and 3D as optional. So 2D, I think by default, as people get used to see it like, in every store, and this is something special. So it's going to be optional. You can switch to 3D and you can use it. Okay, I hope all clear. And another cool thing, specifically for this project, I have designed a couple of t-shirts, which you don't find on the store. So yeah, I guess like if you like them, just leave a comment and we will put them on the store. Why not? I already have exported them as JPEGs, so we can start adding them to the store. Let's start with the fresh build. And let's call it 3D merge. Can I do it? I don't think I can. Let's do FS merge this way. Okay, so we have fresh build of client first official starter project here. Good, and we're gonna switch between two tabs, or even more. Like we're gonna have this one, where we have, and let's think just 1 minute or even less about elements we have. So we have navigation, and I think this entire website should be fixed to the page. And only thing that should be scrollable is when we open this model and details. So only this thing should be scrollable, but the entire thing should be fixed. Should have fixed height and width. Good. I have this tab. We would need it later, but okay, good. I have a backup one. I keep switching to this. The first one, I have a backup because I already tried to build and I found some kind of like, challenges that we're going to face, and I will explain them later. But for now, let's start with the fresh build. So we don't need this at all. And padding, we have main wrapper, padding global. Yeah, let's remove everything. Just we don't need all of this. So we have main wrapper and nice. Option G actually would wrap with a div, which is really awesome. And I'm really happy that I was part of this feature. Like at least I tried to push Webflow to do it. So now we have, let's call it like 3D store section. And we make it height 100 DVH. If you don't know what is DVH, this is dynamic viewport height, meaning it doesn't matter if you're looking on mobile, it always will have this height of the device, excluding this bar that you see on the top or bottom in your mobile device. And with 100%, not 100 viewport width, because if you apply 100% 100 viewport width, this is not respecting scroll bar. So it will have this like small 24 pixels gap, which is not cool. For me, it's fine, like because I have scroll disabled, but for those people who have the scroll enabled all the time, they will see the gap, and it's pretty annoying. We need just navbar. And this navbar is super simple. Like we have navigation in the middle, we have call to action, and we have logo. So even in free version, I have paid version. If you have free version of Relium library, you can use it because this is super like simple component. And we just copy this here. We go and we paste it because it's like empty build. Everything should be good. And I have enabled Relium Chrome extension. So that should take care of all the renaming stuff. Good. And what do I want to do? I want to just like place it here. Okay, all good. Like we have logo, and this is image, and a couple of items. So the only problem, not a problem, but challenge here is that we have t-shirt, mark and cap, not as pages. we have t-shirt, mug, and cap as triggers to switch between 3D items, right? So imagine like we load everything, but we need to switch between them. So this is not exactly navigation, like you would think this is like different pages. I think we're gonna go with tabs. So when you click on mug, you would see one set of products. If you click on cap, you would see another set of products. Okay. But for now, and I actually think what we can do, we can use mirror click from Finsweet in order to trigger this. So we're gonna keep it like it is, and we only can trigger on click. So we don't need this. We have this call to action, and we have this icon. So what is cool about plugin that you can always take even small pieces. Like you don't need, let's run the plugin and show you what I mean. Okay, we're running the plugin. It's starting, and okay, you need to select auto layout. So I would have to wrap it and then make auto layout. And now I have to select one of the projects to start the plugin. And now we can copy to Webflow. Actually, I didn't give it a name, like it's gonna be frame. So let's call it nav icon or something like that. So you can do it, or you can simply, another thing, you can always just take an icon from Webflow library, from Realm library. But let's go hard way. So we have button, and if we just like place it, it's gonna be here, right? But we don't see it because everything is white, and what we need to do is we need black background. And Federico, if we apply background here, is it good, or should I apply it to page wrapper level?
I think it would be better to apply it at a page wrapper level. So because you don't really know where the canvas is going to sit in terms of depth. So I would keep it probably, yeah, exactly.
Let's make
can be great.
Page wrapper is dark. So we're adding combo, and in client first, you would add is dark. Good. Now let's go with 111, because 111 is a brand black for Finsweet, and we add it as a color switch. Good. So now we see this icon here. So I just copied that icon from Figma, which is pretty cool. But not cool is that you always have those pixels. You see, like pixel. And Finsweet can help you with this, right? Like we can, at the end of the project, we can run extension. I'm gonna show you like this one. When you go to client first, and we go to, that was client first. Ooh, pixel to RAM migrator, right? So when you run this pixel to RAM migrator, this will migrate everything to RAMs, but I don't want to do this right now. We're gonna do it later. Another thing that I wanted to show is like you can always do calculation here. Oh, I just forgot to add RAM as a unit here. So this is actually 1.4, which I don't like, but this way 1.5 RAM. Yeah, but you can do it just at the end, which is also fine. Okay, now we're just gonna remove this button. We don't need it. And this navbar link, it should be white. So we put it white. Good. And we have this as a logo, right? And this is component, and this is something that doesn't work with the plugin. So you would have to unlock this from the symbol, right? So you have this here, and then detach instance. And as you can see, this should be placed inside of auto layout, and now you can copy this. Can we do it? Copy the Webflow. Why? Only auto layouts, but we do have. Okay, this one. Okay, we have love logo. And let's check how it works, because it's really cool when you see this navbar logo too, right? So let's test it. So we take this name. Now we go back, and I want to give the same name. Okay. And now I want to copy the Webflow. Why I can't do this? Should be able. It keeps telling me that I can do this, which is weird. Right, so this is select the frame. Let's read. All nested frames must be auto layout. Okay, all nested frames. Oh, I see. Good. So this is also should be auto layout, but we don't want it to be auto layout. Maybe we can just like do this. Would it work? Yeah, it works. Okay, and we don't need this. So you see what this should be group, and then navbar logo, and then you can copy, and wrapper should be auto layout. So there is few commands that you have to remember actually when you're using the plugin. And those two commands are Command Shift V and Command Control V, as I remember. So those two controlling how exactly you would paste your stuff inside of the build. Okay, so I should not do this. I will move it here. So let's test it. If you Command Shift V, it means that Webflow is a master, right? So as we don't have navbar logo too. You see, it just took the same styles from the Webflow, but we don't want it, right? So we want, what was that? Another one. Yeah, Option Command V makes Figma master, means it takes all the styles from the Figma and brings to Webflow. Okay, so it's here. Now we have it, but as you can see, this is not perfect, and there might be some reasons for this for sure, because we have navbar container, navbar logo. We should remove this. And we don't need those gaps actually. One thing when you use plugin, I just wanted to use the plugin just to show you how it works and stuff like that. But, sometimes it really takes time to clean all the stuff here, which sometimes makes me feel that just exporting the assets and bring them to Webflow is more efficient way. Sometimes. So you have to be really careful with that. Okay. But so far so good. Navbar logo is here. It didn't replace the classes because we used correct combination of buttons. And all good here. We just remove this button. Okay, we have padding global. Like, let's group it. And we call this, we call it 3D store. Let's make everything like 3D store. So this will create a folder inside of the Finsweet extension. And 3D store, let's call it body. Right? So 3D store section is going to be display flex, vertical, and I want this 3D store body to expand, and now we can duplicate with Command D, and what I want to do is duplicate this class, and this is going to be 3D store footer, okay? And footer, we don't need to expand it, because just check here. So we have this body, right? Which is going to be expandable. And we have this footer here, and here. And here's another good example. Like, can we simply bring it? What do you think? I don't think so. It's like, too many classes to rename, I would say. I would not touch it. Like I would do it manually if we... No, I have it. Yeah, I have it prepared here. So check this, info wrapper. We have everything, all the classes. So we can simply do the following. We can just like copy the Webflow. Okay. Now I go to merge store. And the only thing that I want to do inside of this, oh, we already have padding global and we have container medium, which we probably don't need. So I'm just Command Shift D, right? And we have all the elements inside together with buttons. The only not cool thing is it's not given a right name to icons. It's kind of like vector wrapper, even though if I switch back and you can check this, probably I got a name info icon. So when you switch back, you don't see this, that info icon, right? So this is vector wrapper, which is wrong. But whatever, we have client source for this, and we call it icon small. No, let's do icon medium, something like this. No, this is small was better. Icon small. Good. Another cool thing about icons, just I wanted to explain you real quick, is you can always do dynamic icons. How you can do it? Well, you can do duplicate a class, and you can do icon one-on-one flex or dynamic, right? And what you can do is you can do one EM, and now size depends on the font size that you have applied to the parent element. So let's say to info CTA, right? Now it's like also this weird stuff coming from plugin. And now if you have here like 2 rem, right? So that would apply 2 rem to the icon. And if you apply 1 rem, this will apply 1 rem to the icon. And there we go. So we have icon, we have info CTA. And you see, this is kind of stuff that comes from Figma, which we don't want. We just want, let's say, 0.5 rem, something like that. Info 1, 2, and I want them like this. Okay. You see, like when you're moving stuff from Figma, it's kind of quick on the first look. But then when you start cleaning all the stuff and you think like, well, I don't know, maybe it's actually better to just use normal flow. Good. So again, like gap, we can remove it in one click. Max width comes from Figma, which is weird, right? So width 100%, we have horizontal, and then I want them be side by side, which is already here. And probably we have something like this, right? So I want this info be done in collaboration with Federico Valla and Finsweet here. So I want this to go to the next line, and maybe I will just like, limit the width. So max width, how about like 15 rem something? Yeah, perfect. Good, and I wanted a line like this. Good. So the only thing that is left here is info wrapper, and because we have info wrapper as a special name, we can actually, what we can do, we can just add padding here. Like I'm not going to use, another cool thing. You can click Command Enter. No, what was that? Command Shift Enter when you have this number, and this will apply to all the corners. Have you seen this? Like I can apply to Command Shift Enter, and it just like applied to all the sides. And there is another one which applies to only left, right, vertical, horizontal, but I don't remember. So we just move this way. Good. Now what do we have? Footer. What do we have? Body. Good. What do we have? So the reason for navigation to be here was to be able, like, actually, you know what? Let's move it here. That's fine. Oh no, because we have main wrapper taking the entire screen, right? No, 3D store section, right? So this is 100 dVh. So this means that either we need now, this page wrapper, apply height and all the stuff, which I don't want to do. Like, let's move navbar. It actually should be outside of main wrapper. Maybe we can just like do is fixed position, and this will solve the problem. Good. We solved the problem. But as you can see, I have used like different approaches. Good. We're good. We use different approaches. One approach was to take from Relief library, so there is some benefits. Another approach is to take some components from Figma. There is other benefits that you can bring styling, right, easily. Like if you would have like maybe cool, shadows or whatever, you can bring it easily. And there is another approach is to build by hands. And I prefer building by hands, actually. Like sometimes I use Relief library, right? Like I would just like explain real quick here. Let's say we have this part, right? So we have this part. So what I would do, I can build it pretty quick by hands, but if you need some already existing components and you know how it works, you don't need to rebuild them. You can go to Relief library, you can go to components, e-commerce, product headers, right? So super quick, you find them. And let's say this one is pretty close to what we need. Like it has product name, price, like it got all the basics and it's got all the essentials for the store. So yeah, I would just use it. But, like building by hands, from scratch is like, I'm enjoying the process. So that's why I would probably build by hands. Okay, good. Now, let me show you another build and I will remove it. So this is built and this is how far I went with all the setup here. And the reason was for me to build it before was not only to practice, but also we need e-commerce enabled. So this is paid project where we can use e-commerce features. Yeah. And I will just like hide this section so you can see the structure, and it's actually not finished, which is good because we can finish together. And now I want to explain you some of the challenges that we're gonna solve with Federico here. So one of the challenges was that we have Cap, T-shirts, and Mac, and this switching between products. So this is not navigation. So this is switching between different products. And I have an idea that we put it inside of the tab, right? So when you switch between T-shirt, Mac, and Cap, you would have different tabs. And actually, I don't want to move this with position fixed and stuff like that. We're gonna use something that really handy and not CMS tabs. Let's go and look for mirror click. What mirror click events does is it takes your trigger. So you can set the trigger with FS mirror click event. You can set trigger, right? And it will perform click on the target, right? So we don't need to put this, to think about how we move this navigation on top. We just get this element, and it doesn't have to be actually a link. So you can even do div, but we keep it link for the reason that it's just like, for now. We can remove it later. Doesn't matter. Custom attribute, and element, we call it target, right? Nope. This is target. And we put it, so that should do like target 1, target 2, target 3 in order to work. So we put it this way. Oh, have you seen this back? Do you know how to overcome the back? On the Webflow, this is really good that we got this recorded. When you click, you see, now it's just disappearing. So I found a way why it doesn't work. And this is actually, I think this is UX issue. Like it doesn't show you that you didn't apply value, right? Even like data attribute can even have empty value. This is fine. So what you have to do is you click target, you type something, and then you hit enter, right? And I would even go to name and I would hit enter here as well. So this is applied. Now, if we go to another element, if I click, I hope it works. No, still not. Jesus. But you see, we have it. Now it's good. I can also like maybe try this way. Plus, yeah.
Oh, that's
target.
That is good to know. I usually just refresh the whole page.
Yes, right. I did it as well, but I was really frustrating about this flow, and I was like, "Why the heck it doesn't work? And how can I fix this?" So this is the fix. If you watch this, so it's kind of like lifesaver or time saver. It happens again. It happens just again. Like even I hit enter, it just happens again. So, and even now, well, whoa, target. Yeah, this is fine. Now we have target 2, and if I go, this is embarrassing. Sorry, Webflow. Oh, now it works. Target 3. Good. 3 times hit enter, so it works. Okay, hopefully everything is applied, and we go here, doubling tab 1, and we need target. So we go here, we say, boom. Do we need to do this as well? Like, 3 times hit enter? I don't know. I do. Plus, Jesus. Federico, do you have the same experience with Webflow?
Yeah, to me it happens quite some time, especially, but I think it's also because we work a lot with attributes.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah, I really want to test this, but it just doesn't give me, ability to add attribute.
Yeah, I just refresh the whole thing.
Whoa. And every time
really.
I would have to do it, like, Jesus, okay, let's do it. Hard way.
That works. It fixes it.
I hope so.
Oh
yeah, I need to go here and custom attribute. Okay, we stick with 2. Just we test 2 for the reason not to spend a lot of your time and watching this embarrassment. Now we go to mirror click went. Good. Only thing that I need is copy the script and place it here on the homepage. Okay, here. Do you have it? Oh, no, this is tabs. Good. Save and publish and publish. Good. Whoa, this is first time I publish actually this build. Good. Now we go 3D merge. If I click, I hope it works. No? Interesting. It should.
Does the console say anything?
We can always check.
You never know. Target 2.
Yeah.
Maybe it shouldn't be target.
No errors, you see, like all good. One warning.
Yeah, no, but that's extensions. Should it be target?
Target. We can also check. So this is target 2, right? So, which is good.
Isn't target the other way around? Like target is the one that gets targeted.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe.
That's what I mean. Right. I have mixed up. I have mixed up everything, right? So this should be right. You're absolutely correct.
Maybe. So trigger and target. Yes. Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it should be swapped.
So, oh my God. This rename will take ages. Trigger.
Yes.
We're gonna play with only 2. This one already targeted, right? And this one is target 2. Oh, okay. I just used wrong name here. Target. It didn't rename, you see? Okay.
You hit enter?
Yeah. I think so. Trigger.
Since target.
Double enter. Trigger. Publish. Okay, cool. Now we refresh it and then t-shirt. Does it work? Target.
So that's target still.
It's still target red. Yeah. And we have trigger here. I can even hard refresh. So for hard refresh, you would press Command-Shift-R, and this will do hard refresh. And it's still trigger, right? No, it's good. Woo!
Oh, yes. Nice.
What?
You don't have
no
music.
Win. Come on. Oh my God. Simple stuff, but now it works. Okay, we can switch. And the cool stuff about it that now you can actually, what you can do, you can just hide it. And this is tabs nav menu. So this is unique. This is unique ID, unique class. So we can hide it. We can publish this project. And I wish there gonna be some hotkey for publishing. So that would save me some few milliseconds. You see, now I can switch between, and we don't even see the navigation, which is cool, right? Because it's hidden in a DOM. Good. So what we do have here is, I already brought collection list here. So this information comes from our products. Where are our products? Here. Good. So what do we have in setup? So this is pretty basic setup. And we have products, right? I didn't change 0 fields, but we do need to add, for this 3D to work, we need special stuff, right, Federico? We would need maybe something like textures, another field.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have a field for the textures, and we're just gonna add another image there, and probably just either put it in as hidden, or just using some attributes. Since you now can use attributes, since you can now use CMS fields inside of attributes, so that may also be a way to do it. I think we're just gonna have one per graphic, and we can just select between them and use them as textures, basically.
And in this texture, are we gonna have included all the different images, right? Back and front and maybe sleeve?
Yeah, exactly. You can have back, front, sleeve. You can have included everything. You can also control the size there, because ultimately we're gonna control the UVs of the clothing. So we're gonna be able to move between it.
Right. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So we're gonna need just one more image here. In settings, we just add one more image, and I think that's it. And do we need kind of like a toggle saying this is like double-sided, or we just good?
No, we're just good because, we're good with one setup because it's going to be one set of UVs and one texture, and they're going to always match. So if you don't set it up in Blender, it's just going to be one-sided. But if you set it up in Blender, it can be, you have 10 different placements.
So imagine we have all the products, right? But we have 2 categories, and we show only one category, only cap, only t-shirt, only Mac, but we also have to show different like products, and we are not showing them, all of them at the same time. We just show one, right? So I decided that we're gonna use it inside of tabs, like another level of tabs, right? So tabs inside of tabs. What does it mean? So here we have tabs that allows us to switch between cap, t-shirt, and Mac, right? And now we're gonna have CMS-driven tabs here, which would include all the products. So every tab is a product, right? And when we switch between, we will see only this information, and this information is inside of tab, right? So we have only one per page. So when we switch between, so this is, let's say, like product 1, and this is product 2. And we can scroll here, like I will add another element. Let's check it here. I will show you the idea. So when you hover over this part, right, or on click, we're gonna show different options of items. So this is what we're gonna build here. We're gonna build it here, okay? So on hover over this element, let's say this is gonna be some trigger button. And I don't know, like I feel like I can do it right now because it's like we don't have time. So we just do detach instance, and it doesn't matter for me right now how it's named. I just want to move it. So we just go plugin, run forest run. Copy the Webflow, then we go. Yep. Have you seen that? That was just like, boom. It just broke everything. Doesn't matter. Hop, it's here. Okay. Where is this icon? This is somewhere. I will do icon, with elements. I would do it just like, with real divs. That would be cool. But anyway, when we have this button, right, on click, this will show these tabs, right, tabs navigation, and part of this tab navigation will be inside of CMS tabs. And here's the dynamic tabs, CMS tabs in Finsweet that you can use. And the only thing that you would need to apply is you need to take this FSCMS flap element and you apply it to the list, right? So you would have this list. And this list actually must be outside of tab component, but it should be like somewhere hidden, right? And why can I move it? Oh, that was tabs inside of tabs, right? So I have to move. It doesn't matter where it is, like actually on a page. Could be here. So you take list and you take this like FICMS element list is already here. And the only thing that you would need to do is to go to Finsweet. Yeah, we don't need this. List we have tabs. So we take tabs. FICMS tab. This applying to tab component, right? So whenever you see this tab component looks like this with the icon, you just go and you apply it here. And we need this one. Tabs nav, right? So you would just apply here.
Yeah.
Oops. Is it correct? Hope so. Yeah. And this is pretty annoying. I would really, if Webflow would have button like apply or check mark or something that tell you that this is applied, that would save me like a lot of time. Because when you work on a bigger project, you always use attributes. It needed all the time. And, when you have every time refresh, when you do it, it's like, it's not sufficient. It's like, wow. So tab link is a div. I want this div block to be element inside the tab link. So means that we have tab element and it can be somewhere inside of the collection list, right? So we have this collection list. And let's say I want this div element, call it tab link. Good. And everything that inside of this div, and we're going to give this attribute. What was that? Tab link? Yeah, tab link. I hit enter on every field and we hope it will apply. Let's change this. Yeah, it works. Inside of all this stuff, inside of the tab link, will go here. So what I want is when we go here, and yeah, this stuff. Like, so we just need one image. We need this footer with, price and name, and we will just move everything into Webflow. Should I do it now? Yeah, maybe. Copy the Webflow. All the names are wrong. I'm gonna rename everything, but just for now, we're just gonna do it. So it's here. It's like, you see, it's like super tiny small. I don't know even why. Because it just like applied some weird values, probably. Yeah, like 8 pixels, stuff like that. Good. And this frame. So what we're gonna do is like item footer. Good. And this tab link. Yeah, we need just another wrapper. Item wrapper. And we want to add some, maybe like distance here, right? And then we just add something like this. And that has to be position relative. So we get this, and then we get this image. And with image, I love this like image cover. We don't have this class in client first, but I love image cover class because you can do this and you can apply cover. No, this isn't fill cover. It would mean that the image always takes entire space here, and we just need item footer to be on top. So this is position relative, and we call it like maybe 2, right? It's good. And 1, rem, Command Shift, Enter. Good. Now it's looking better. And we would add just a bit more love here, but what I wanted to do is just, I want to bring image here. So we just take from main image, and image is here. Good. So eventually, when we finish the setup, this image, and if we did everything correctly, actually this all already should go into this step. right? I just want to, like this image should go to this tab component. And I just want to be sure 100% that we have applied correct. No, it's not here. Tab item. I applied to the wrong place probably. Was it here? Yeah, FSMS element tabs. Right. Oh my God. Good. We need these steps. Okay. Right. This is correct one. And this is steps. I want to just like super double check this. Oh, we formulas over time. I just want to finish only this setup and I think we're good. So, okay, for the list, we need fs cms labs element list. I have applied. And for tabs, we need fs cms tab element tab. Yes. Okay, all good. But I have a tabs with s, so that should work this way. Good. Can you hear it? Can you hear me? No. I don't know if it's gonna work. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna work. Like I have this feeling that it's not gonna work. No, it works.
It worked. Yeah. Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Good. We have this nice setup now. I mean, it looks messy. It doesn't look nice, right? But what I like is like, it works. So for me, the functionality is first, and I always know I can fix the styling later, right? Good. Even now, if we just like, tabs component, what we're gonna do is maybe just put it to like, come on, Command Shift G. Why doesn't it give me no. I cannot wrap it with interesting. And now? No. Okay, we do it all the way. So we just add div and global padding. No. Where is the div? Div? Yeah. Padding global. Do you know about this trick that you don't need to type class entirely? You can just like say padding global and that's it. So it doesn't matter what you type.
Oh, that's convenient.
Did you know about this?
Not. I just type everything.
Good. So this is cool because margin to, you see, padding to, and it gives me all the options.
Oh, so, that's convenient.
Yeah, it's really cool. So what we need, what I was doing, I was adding like global padding, right? Padding, global. Boom. And now we drag like all the way to add some distance here. Good. And have you seen like when we brought it here, because we have some styling here, which we have to remove. So now if we publish, this image will go to this step, right? Oh, and another thing that I have limited this collection to only one item. Let's see what happens if I remove this limitation now. We're gonna have two products here, right? So 1, 2, and we're gonna publish this. Interesting. It used to work, right?
Okay. What's happening now? Is it outside?
Could be that it's not placing here. You know what is always good? It's always good that you can use Command Z option, and you can publish again and check
Yes.
if it works or not.
Big fan of Command Z.
Yeah, you see something happens, something wrong happens, like it's not going to this for some reasons, and we can always check why. So this is tab link, right? So we have tab link, which is good. We have applied here tab, FSCMS tabs element tab, which is correct, right? Now, theoretically, that should go inside of here. What was else that was missing here? Let's always check docs. If something doesn't work, always check docs. And we have tab link and list, right? So that should be in a list. So we do have everything actually, right? And we do have, right, everything is in place. Okay, time for debugging, but offline. At least, guys, there was a proof of concept that was working, and we will figure this out.
Yeah.
Offline for sure is gonna work. All right, so Federico, like, we have the core. It looks ugly. It doesn't finish. I have wasted a lot of time. And
I learned something new though. I never used the plugin, so it was interesting. And
nice.
This is also, we're laying the foundations. Then it's got a bit of some styling, some 3D, but we're gonna get there.
So today's session is going to be the second part of the build. So we will just keep building from where I left before. We'll just keep building that page, and I think it's going to be pretty interesting anyway, because I want to try a couple of things that I didn't plan initially, and I found a nice way to handle all of the ideas with no code. Well, maybe a little bit of code. I have built partially the infrastructure, all the UI, but I didn't finish it because, I'm experimenting here, and we have some of the challenges. For instance, like this T-short, mark, and cap, those are not the navigation. It's not like different pages. This is tabs. And when you switch between tab, you show different content based on a tab here. So the one that related to T-short, mark, and cap. Okay. And when you hover over here, you have another layer of tabs. So when you open this one, then you have different variations, different T-shirts, and this is also tab. And the reason why I have tab and tab, because we need to trigger. So when you click this trigger, that image that you can see on a T-shirt will appear on the 3D T-shirt, right? So on the 3D model. And another one, so when you see information about this T-shirt and then you click on details, right? Then you have all the details but on the right side. And this information is stored inside of a tab that is deep in the DOM. So it's inside of the tab and tab and tab, it means that it's not always on top of all the elements. And sometimes, some elements will overflow it. And so it's kind of difficult even to position on the right side because this is inside of divs. And we wanted to find a way how to bring this window to the right side on top of everything. And actually, there is a Finsweet attribute for it. So today, what I want to do, I want to use that attribute and I want to connect it to this, all the tabs. So this setup is just a bit complicated, but I'm going to explain you what we built. And this part we wanted to do with a custom code, but actually what we can do it with no code, but just with Finsweet attributes. So this is what I'm going to do. Last time, I finished with tabs being not working, and sometimes you just have, small thing, small typo, and this is all you need to stuff not be working properly. What does it mean? Like, instead of like tabs, you type tab. That's it. It doesn't work. So that happened with me last time. Today it's fixed, and I will just publish the build. So what happens here? And let me close this guy so we don't see it. Good. So what happens on the screen is we have tabs inside of tabs. Okay. Let me show you. So on the last session, we did the following. So this is navigation, right? And we have used Finsweet mirror click element, trigger, and target. So when you click on this cap, t-shirt, or mug, this will trigger one of these steps, product 1, product 2, and 3. Not even this. Yeah, this tabs now menu where we switch between t-shirt, cap, and mug. So right now it's hidden. Cap, t-shirt, and mug. So when you click here, with mirror click, this will trigger this cap. When you click t-shirt, this will click this one. So we don't need to worry about, position of this wrapper, right? So now we can just like hide it. Okay, it's not here. Good. This is first level of tabs, this navigation. The second level of tabs we have is switching between different designs of t-shirt. And every tab is generated by CMS. So how do we do it? Again, with Finsweet attributes with tabs. So this is CMS tabs. If you look for this, CMS tabs inside of Finsweet attributes here. Okay, let's check. We have tab. Let's check it here. Tab component. FS CMS tabs element tabs. So this is tab component. We have list. This is collection list. Here. Scroll down. FS CMS tabs element list. That is related. And actually, it should not be here. This list should be outside. We don't need this inside of a tab. Okay. So we will just move this somewhere out. Which level? This level. Here. Nice. Good. But they connected with attribute. And they will appear right inside of this tab item pane. Okay. I can even just like bring it up with div, and we put this div as hidden, but later. Okay. So what happens is this content will go inside of that tab here. And so let's publish so we see the current changes here. Okay, was it published? One more time, just to be sure. Good. It's published 100%. Reload, all good here. And as you can see now, if I click one of those, it's showing me different content. It means that I click on tab, right? Here and here. So this content went to all these tab links. Good. So we're good with this. Now we have CMS-based tabs. So if I add more prints here, we will see more tabs. coming. So this element is supposed to show and hide this panel where we can select different t-shirts, because if we have them more, we will see like scroll, so we can just like select one of those. Cool. And this is another level of tabs that I was mentioning, right? So with which t-shirt and Mac, well, we don't have any items here, but we have cap. So it works. So the main point, it works. Good. Now we jump back, and the next thing for us is what we want to do. We want to show hide this stuff, and we also want to show this panel when you click on details. Right, so we don't want to see this all the time. We want it to be hidden. So in a way, and the way how I want to do it, actually, I want to ask ChatGPT for doing this. Okay, and actually, I already did. I was preparing for the session. I will bring it here. So here's the ChatGPT. Okay, I will hide it. So. And the reason why I did ask ChatGPT for it, I had a script that I did initially with add remove classes. This is the product by Finsweet, if you don't know. But it was not working. And I thought, like, I have ChatGPT, so why not to use it? And it was perfectly done. So what I was asking is, just can you write a script that would toggle a class is hide on a class target is t-shirt when clicking on trigger is t-shirt. It's like super easy task. I just want on a class target is t-shirt, add and remove is hide. That's it. It's easy, but is hide is visible by default. So this is like default state. We have is hide. Now, when I click the button, that should be removed, right? And actually that was another try here. It was doing other ways around. That was like adding is hide, but we need to remove is hide and we need to add on a second click. And I also want that this script would check the state. If is hide is present, then it would remove. So eventually I get the script. This one, okay. And I'm placing this script inside of our home here. Good. Save. So what we need some classes. Triggers is t-shirt, and we need is hide, and this is it. Save. Triggers t-shirt, and I don't think we're gonna stick with this image that was brought from Figma, which is completely wrong actually. Anyway, I think we just what we really need is just keep this one, tab item per trigger. I will just change it to let's go back to ChatGPT. And we just need this trigger as t-shirts. Okay. And we just need to change this. Nice. Oh, it's exist actually. So we do it this way. Triggers t-shirt. And what I want to do is one rem, and if you click Shift Enter, this would apply one rem to all the sides, and we just want to add some background color here, like this one. That's it. Okay. We don't need that big button, so this is something like trigger wrapper. Let's call it trigger wrapper for now. Position relative, and I want to add something like this. So we have button here, and for now, let's just like add some text here. Or maybe like we can use the icon but this icon is white, which I don't like. Okay. Anyway, let's add just some text. And this text will be open. Or maybe art. Good. That's it. We don't need a lot here. We just want to test functionality here. So script is here. Triggers t-shirt is here. The only thing we need is class isHide on the panel. And this panel is these tabs. So we look for top item menu. Okay. So let's check this again. So what we want to do is we have target and we have trigger. Trigger is t-shirts, goes to the button. Target is t-shirt, goes to trigger, and this is going to be target. Top items, and we go target is t-shirt. That's it. And now we have class isHide. So we're hiding this. Now let's publish and see what happens. Okay, reload, boom. We don't see details anymore. We don't see those items. Now, if I click art, it's here, right? We click it again, it disappears. Good. So now we have toggle. We only need to make it like position absolute or something like that and attach it to this button. So yeah, we're good here. For now, we're good. I will add some styling here and it's going to be cool. The next step for us, so this is small success here. Okay, second, we want to have details. So on click on details, I want to open something that lives outside of all the tabs. So let's look at the DOM. We have all the tabs here. And I want this section to have this information. So instead of adding another JavaScript code from ChatGPT, what I'm going to do, I want to use smart white box. So if you don't know what is smart white box, this is like a good session for you to understand and learn what it is. But actually, what it allows you to do is when you have something like Modal that should open content over any other content on the page, you click this open Modal. You see, like this is what would normally happen with Webflow elements. It's just like cropped by the parent. But if you have attributes, you have this model over everything, right? Even if your content is somewhere inside deep in the DOM and it relates to the parent that will crop all the content, this actually will take this HTML element and it will just put it outside of everything. So this will be on top. Good, and we're going to do it right now. So what we need to tell which white box actually is going to be FS smart white box element. So we copy this, we go here, and I want this element with position fixed be this element. Okay, we press D and go to custom attributes. Good. Name, and what was the value? I think that was just like white box. Click the button, so no mistakes. Don't forget to press enter. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it not. So let's check if this was applied. I don't see custom attribute, wrong element. Yeah, now it is applied 100%, it works. I hope. Okay, let's go now and add a couple of more triggers. So we need trigger to open and trigger to close, right? So trigger to open, we just copy here and it's going to be trigger open. Trigger open is details. So this is coming from CMS, and this CMS is out of tabs, and tabs are also CMS. Can you feel this complexity? Good. So now we go here and we add custom attribute. And this is, what was that trigger? Right? Trigger open. Okay. Trigger open. Hit enter to be sure that it is applied. And another thing to check if this is applied is to simply click this element and check if it's here. That should work. Trigger open. Nice. And another trigger is to close this window. So we go trigger close, copy this element, we go here. Here's button, like, this button is stretched. What we can do, we can simply wrap it and add something like button wrapper. Oh, I'm not in class. Button wrapper. Okay, and then we also make it like position flags. Now it's not stretched. I don't mind if it's stretched, like, the bigger button, the bigger like area, so user can interact easily with this area. But also, like, it would be weird if user would just like hover over this space and he will see cursor changing to pointer. So I think it's good when you have like logic place for the pointer. Good. Details. We need to add attribute, which is, what was the trigger? Close, I believe. Okay. You can enter. Yep, trigger close. We don't need toggle. You can use toggle if this is the same button that open and close the window, but we have two different. And we don't need to wait to close. So it can actually wait to close is cool when you want to use some interactions. So maybe we can do it, just adding some interaction. But anyway, let's stick with instant transition. Like, you click, it's open. So this is mentality we have at Finsweet. Instant transitions. Let's publish. Oh, no. Before publishing, hold on a second. So what we need now, what we want actually, we want to get this out and place inside of product details. Okay. So this should live somewhere in the CMS. Okay. It's still over, right? Still over. Which is good thing. But if we would have like navigation or something with bigger Z index, or there is a lot of scenarios that when fixed position inside of deep inside of the DOM would always interact with other elements. So we want to be sure that this element will be over. So that's why I do all of this. And another cool thing about it is what we can do now, we can simply wrap it with another div and say hide. Okay, now it's hidden. And now what we can do is just like publish, and hopefully this should work if we set up everything correctly. Okay, and you see it's flashing. So for some elements not being flashing, it's always good to set height or that elements inside of head. So if you want to hide elements so it's not flashing on the page load, you would need to go and put the class and add styles here, and then you can just with the class, then position hide, this will hide the element and it won't be flashing at all. But we don't care for it now. We will fix it later. Okay, let's check how it works now. Proof. Details. And it's not working for some interesting reasons. Let's check. Let's check why. Oh, I know why. I don't know. I don't need to even open this panel. It happens sometimes. You just like, I need to go here. And this is the first step that you should be doing. But I always forgetting to do it. Like just copy script from here. Let's copy it. Okay, good. Now we go to home. And we put the script into the head. Save. Publish. Go to production. And boom. Okay, now let's try click details. Hooray! Awesome, it works. And close the details. Let's do it again. Okay, just to be sure that everything works perfect, let's do the following. Now we go here. We go to hide. And I remove this class. Now we select this element and we want to add some like name. We put description from the product. Okay, so we add description here. And we add price. So all good now. And you can connect all of this to CMS, but for now, what is important for me is, to check that everything works here. And let's bring some visual here. Also like maybe t-shirt. Like div. And inside of this div, where is my div here? I want list. And guys, how often do you use search this way? Like you can search for the element and create. I forgot when I last time clicked this add element button. I always do it from the quick find. It's really efficient way to do it. Okay, let's connect it to more images. Yeah, that's what we want, more images. And we want another div, which is, let's call it 3D store, not image, but product preview. Product preview. Okay. And now we bring image. And last time we have created really cool class that calls image cover. So now we can just use it. And I want to bring more images here. So we have more images and we want to have this collection list is to be 3D store collection list. Yeah, I have it. Good. Awesome. So, and also guys, what is actually your spacing strategy? That was a lot of discussion about spacing strategy that you would use. And I even I've seen some people were commenting that spacing strategy inside of client first is tricky. And I was not getting why it's tricky, why exactly it's complicated, why people do not understand spacing strategy in client first. Because client first it gives you so much flexibility that you can choose your way how you go. We give you kind of like, we build a mentality for people how to name classes. But the way how you move, it depends on you. But it's always good to have documentation and rely on something that you can share and you can hand over the project to the client, and this client can share with the team so they can follow up with what you do. So this is like the main benefits. I think I'm using like maybe old version of client first, or maybe not, but we added, spacer. So spacers are here. So there is like 3 strategies in client first. One strategy when you add some element inside of a wrapper with paddings or margin, right? So if you want to have padding top, let's say you want to have this distance on top, then you have padding top, padding large. Okay, so you have this distance here, so 3 rem, right? And this is one kind of like strategy we have. Another one was spacing blocks. And before we would use kind of the same padding top, padding let's do it again. Padding top, padding large to make distance between 2 elements. So like text and this image, right? But people were like complaining, and I do understand this point, that in Navigator here, you don't see what the value you have applied. So you don't understand it here. Like, if you, now I have this element selected, so it's kind of like easy to see, but if I would have another element selected, you don't understand if this is like, this distance is large or small or like whatever. So what we did is we added spacer. And now it's like you can just like add a spacer, medium, that's it. And it's easy. You can now duplicate with Command D, you can bring it in the middle, so all good. And for those people who actually learning client first, right now in the middle of, catching up on client first and how it works, and I also seen some people saying this is like, really long documentation. This is a lot of stuff to read. And some guy were even like mentioned that he's going to spend 1 week to read docs. I think you can do it like, in 1 day. You don't need to spend 1 week to learn client first. And specifically for this reason, I made this quick guide. It is officially here on client first. So you can go and you can check it. My idea that you can even take it and print, hang it on the wall so you can always check it, or just like put it on your table. 1 to 3 days, 1 2 builds, and you will be a super pro with client first. And here's explanation of everything in a visual way. You don't even have to read entire documentations. That would be good, like for you, if you just starting, because there is like a lot of, ideas behind and discussions we put into every decision we made on the client first. So if you want to read through, I would encourage you to go and read docs. But if you just want to understand it and start building without reading docs, and when you, let's say, have a question like, should I use this or that? You can always use one of the references on the PDF doc, or you can always go and read more information about every chapter, every card here. So let's say here, page structure, how to use ramps, spacing, right? So this is like utility classes, and we have spacing blocks. And even here, you can learn values in RAM easily because I have put them all here. And this is like, basic setup for client first, basic value. You can change them for your current project for sure. And here is like how spacing strategy looks like when you use it. So it's like, if you learn client first, this guide is really good for it. So it explains a lot. At the same point, Another cool thing I just added to this guide was, supporting content. This is something that you don't find in docs, but you will see inside of this guide. And here is like one cool, screenshot of understanding how 100 viewport height, there is 3 different units like DVH, SVH, and VH, right? And there is a difference between. And DVH is flexible. So if you see this input bar from the browser, this is SVH. When it disappears, right? So this is LVH, and DVH is something that, fills the height of the screen. So let's say the good use case here, if you want always button here on mobile to be stick, right? And it will not be cut by, some of the elements, UI elements of the browser, it's good to use DVH. So this is really good. Small graphic, so it's cool. And for sure, read more about sales strategy. Sales strategy in client first this is one of the most reasons why people would choose client first, because docs are extensive and you can read them and you can share with the client. The client will appreciate this. So when you sell your project, you give this value of this documentation, right, on a lot of different languages. So this is cool. Okay, let's back to our build. I was I just wanted to share with you this quick guide and explain you what it does. And we started with the spacing. So we get back to spacing. What I did, I just added this spacing block between here. Another one was, you have just like a wrapper with position flags or with grid where you have spaces between elements. So this is also a good one. Then you have less elements in the DOM. But for now, what we actually want to show all those t-shirts before this stuff, right? So now we have cool option inside of Webflow to move elements with just brackets. It's not just showing. Okay. Maybe I need to use something like command bracket, but let's move it manual way, all the way. This way. Good. Now we have this space. So this is what I'm talking about. If we would have more images here in this collection. So what we want to do, we would want to use the strategy, spacing strategy, where you have space between elements. So I make it vertical and then row, and we would say 1 rem is enough. So if we would get another element here, this would push it on the next. This will have a gap 1 rem. Good. Collection item, all good here. So I'm going to add back to this div height, and we're going to publish. Good. Okay. Now, when we click on details, right? When we click on details, there should be t-shirt, and we can scroll it, right? So we see this title. This title is here with more content about price. I like this price. Being God of no code is something special. So maybe we put this price on our store, and this all coming from Relume. So I didn't touch anything here. I just I have used one of the components from Relume, which is good. I don't need to worry about this. When I click details, it's gone. And let's see what happens in the DOM. So when we inspect element and we just want to on details. So you see this height element. So we have this header is here. Let me just make it smaller for you. It is inside. And when I click on details, you see, it's got removed. So there is no duplications, there is nothing, but this element is here. Okay, and now I go and it is somewhere here. Cool, this is the first element, kind of like last element before closing body tag, which means it is above everything, and it's got that index 99, which means we're 100% sure it's never, like there is no navigation that will overlap this model. Okay. All right, we did everything that we wanted to do regarding this functionality. So we would need only to do some styling, and apart from that, the functionality is ready for Federico to get this and implement. We will have few more things to do. We should build in Figma template for a client where you can position, like I will explain in just a bit. So let me explain how we're gonna place this texture. So you see like texture here on the front, but imagine that you can rotate. So you will see this texture on the back, because we're gonna have some t-shirts with front and back, right? So there is front and there is back, front and back. So what we wanna do, where do I have t-shirts? No, I'll call it t-shirts here. So what we wanna do, we would make a template for the client where you position, front and back. And let's bring it here. Okay, so we have this print. And now let's bring front. Where is this? Yeah. And I wanted to have here. Good. And to be 100% sure, we would have to be like, position somewhere here, and then, you would measure where exactly on this t-shirt you would see this label. Let me zoom in so you see it better. So on some t-shirts, you might want to have this big print, right? On some t-shirts, it should be in the middle. But for 3D, we should prepare images like the texture. And for all of them, this will be the template. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna place it here. This is gonna be placed in the middle, somewhere here. Oh, let's take frame. Yeah. And then we combine this together. But this also depends on UV that Federico will prepare for us next time. So I did this way. So this will be template for the client, and we're gonna use this template for every print. After that, what I would do is I would just export this, and we upload this as a CMS item. It will be hidden, but this will be applied only for t-shirt. So this is what we're gonna do together with Federica. For now, we have prepared everything except some styling actually here. These details, it works good. And what else to check? What would happen if I switch to another one and I click details? Details. Okay, this is interesting issue, right? And this is more like a UX issue. We have one button that open details, right? Details. And we have another button that closing this model. So what we want to do, maybe we want to have this button as a toggle. But if I do it, I actually don't know what would happen with this button. But we can check this actually. What we can do, we just go to Smart White Box by Finsweet, and we use that toggle option, right? So hopefully it is smart enough to understand if this is outside or not. Good. So we take this and then trigger. Oh, actually, I need just trigger toggle. Good. So details. And we go and we change from just open to be toggle. Apply. Oops, sorry. And we publish this. I'm going to check here. So let's update. Hopefully it's already published. Okay, moment of truth. We open and we close. We open and we close. Here's a toggle, right? But when we click details, it's closing. Nice. But what happens in this scenario when I open, I want to choose another t-shirt, right? And now I click details. And now I want to use another t-shirt and I want to click details. Okay. There is still issue with that. And the reason is I'm switching to another one, right? And maybe even, but still see details here. Okay. So there is always like ways how to close this type of issues. So this is UX issue, right? You might say like the functionality works, but this is UX issue. So what user expect when he click the button, right? So does he expect when you switch in between different products, we open details, right? So this is like learn build. This is like related, all good. And here we see 3D model. First, you would need to answer the question like, do user want to interact with the product and see these details at the same times? If not, it's easy to fix. You can simply hide this under some layer, right? That would maybe even do some cool blur effect. And on click on that layer, this will just close this window, right? The more difficult functionality would be if you want to click this one. So we see like God of no code, and you also want to open details of that t-shirt immediately, right? Because right now I click on details, I would expect that I see details, but actually it's closing because this is the toggle. And when I click again, now it opens, right? Yeah. So I think we just like, what we're gonna do, we're gonna simply build overlay. I think it's like gonna solve the issue, and people want to focus on details and they don't need to see details and t-shirt at the same time. So it would be a nice way to solve it. So let's just like hide it. Okay. The only thing with this approach is that we would need probably to change FS Modal, these custom attributes from here. I want to remove them. So this is white box. And we will just wrap. Interesting. I'm just trying to wrap it, right? Okay, there is some bugs. We do it manual way. And we call it white box wrapper. Good. White box wrapper, we can make position fixed this way. And we want to have black background, but not completely black. Maybe this black. And you can see there's already some Z-index issues here, but we're going to solve it real is here. We just go to set index, we push it 99. I don't know why I put always 99, but why not 2000 or something like that? And then we go and add blending mode, backdrop filters. Right. Let's do 5 pixels is fine. Okay. And now what we want to do is we want to add custom attribute here, which is white box. So now what we can do, we can just like simply close it, all good here. And we just go to our wrapper. Our wrapper is here. And we add this hide div. And actually, another cool thing that you can do here to help user to close this model, this is what anybody would expect from this kind of layers, that this will also close the white box. So we copy this and this is trigger close. Okay. We go, one thing that might happen if I apply it right now, better not to do it. So we would need another div. If I click on the parent, it means that even if I click on any of this button, this will hide entire white box, and we don't want this. So we just add another div with class layer. Okay, and we just need to be sure that this section is over, and it is because there is 999 here and layer is nothing. So we just apply to this layer. Now this layer behind white box, and we save custom attribute, and we say trigger close. Okay, enter. I hit enter a couple of times just to be sure it's applied. Yeah, that would be good to have indication that this was applied, because sometimes it happens it's not. And another UX issue in Webflow is that, you put this here and here, but there is no enter button. You have to click enter, but you don't know if it's saved or not. This is the first thing. There is no indication. Same happens for ID, right? So you just type it. What is different from ID? When you type in ID and you just go, let's put some just ID. Okay. Whatever. If I go out, it also not applied. Where have I seen when you type something, it is applied, right? So if you type something here, would it be applied? Yeah, you see, this is immediately applied here. But on other windows, it's not. So I think this is UX issue here. Like, people would expect that all those fields would work in the same way, and it's not. Okay, I just wanted to finish this one quick. Trigger close. So what we're gonna do is just go to parent. Oh no. Now with keyboard, it's kind of like I click keyboard, it works, but sometimes using mouse is faster. I just created wrong height. Publish. Okay, now I think we solved the issue. And you close details. No, it doesn't work actually. It doesn't work. For some reasons, right? So there's few reasons that why it might not be working. So we'll just going to check it quickly. We go to white box wrapper. Oh, I see. This height is here. We don't need this height. Oh, we only need to hide this. Yeah. But anyway, that was not the reason why it was not working, right? So let's check this one. is there is no white box wrapper. FS smartbox element white box. It is applied. And all good. I have spelling here, but it doesn't. This will not solve the issue. White box. Okay. And this white box wrapper got this attribute. We have to be sure that there is no attribute. There is no attribute here, which is good. It's supposed to actually work. Maybe it is not working because we are not allowed to have more than one trigger clause. If this is the case, we always can use mirror click to do this kind of functionality. But for now, what I want to do, it's kind of like not working, right? So if I click this button, it's just like not closing. So what we're gonna do, I want to just check quickly by deleting this clause. Publish. And by the way, here we need to hide it. Okay. What if Webflow would have hotkey for publishing your project? That would make it so much easier. Good. Now we open details. I think I broke something. When I open details, it just doesn't open. Right? All good here. When we click on these details, sorry guys, I'm messing around, so, it happens. Trigger toggle. This is good. When I click, I don't see any events happens here. So we're just going to check one more time. This button got trigger inside of white box wrapper. It is FS smart white box element. I want to check if I did everything right here. And just go and check. This is good. Supposed to work. White box. Oh, you know what? Sometimes the flow does not apply this value even if you see it. So we're gonna check it now. So what I want to do is I want to see this trigger rubber. No, we need details. We need details, and then we need this class height and FS small white box wrapper. It's here. And we don't have it here, which is good. This is how it should be. So actually this setup should work. Okay, details. Interesting. Okay, so for some awesome reasons, it just doesn't work. White box wrapper. Okay. Anyway, we have spent all our time. I broke my build. It happens. What I'm gonna do next is I'm going to fix it offline. And next session, finally, Federica is back from his travel, and we're going to bring together two worlds. So I will tune some of the small details, so you'll see nice build here. And together with Federico, we're going to put everything together. So thank you guys for sticking with me. Have a nice evening or day, or be productive. See you next week with Federico, and we're gonna finish the 3D store. Thank you for your time. Ciao, bye. you.